Hey guys, hey, welcome to the Cowsills podcast, Paul.
Yeah.
It sounds a little quiet right now. We know there's no because Susan
Yeah.
is becoming a marmy, which is a grandma, and is not going to be with us today. And she's having the baby, and it's very exciting stuff. Okay, so Paul and I are gonna uh, do this episode without her.
And we want to let everybody out there know that we will be working on the intro of the show. We've been talking about getting that fixed up, and we really haven't been able to have time to deal with it. But, we just heard it, and oy vey, we're tired of it too.
You know why? Because it's too long.
Yeah.
Because once you have it, it's like a phone message that goes on and on. At first, it's cute. Oh, look at that cute phone message. Then you go, God, please, people. But anyway, and also we have decided, guys, that we are going to have podcast episodes from Branson during our Christmas run. So we're going
Yep.
through the early holiday season together with all of you. And Lord knows what, but we're going to be together. That's different.
Yep. And so, well, that's different. And maybe what we can do, and it would, because we'll be there, because we'll be rehearsing on our own our pieces
That's right.
at our hotel,
Yeah.
and maybe one night we can just put this on and record us working on the show.
That's a good idea, Paul, because hey folks, so we read the rehearsal schedule, and this thing reads just like a big extended version of the Crap Music Christmas special TV show that we did two times at least, or Ed Sullivan's, with dancers and spectacle and decorations and a big stage and a place that holds 2,200 people Monday through Saturday night.
Wow.
Paul just gasped. Oh, I forget. You can see us. We gasped because we go, oh my. So that's a lot of people. No, actually, it's a lot of seats.
That's a lot of seats. And we were talking to Kathy Lennon the other day, everybody, and she was saying that when they built those houses, they call them houses there, theater houses,
Yeah.
but when they built these buildings for Tony Orlando and Andy and Bill Medley and people like that, they made them 2,000 seaters. And this was long, like 40 years ago, 30 years ago, 20 years ago, when they had these bus tours that would just bring gobs and gobs of people into Branson. Well, that's not happening anymore. And Kathy told us, look, at when you hit the stage, don't expect to see a sold out, because it's probably not going to be. And Monday's probably a little slow. Look, we were at the RFD Theater, Bob, remember? And that was a huge one. And I remember Paul Revere came to our show there, and we only had like 20 people plus them. And
Yeah.
but he still loved it.
We're so happy he brought the Raiders because that finished out his row. I remember. And hey, these were the days. Now we were filling in for something, but what were there? 1 week or 2 weeks? These were the days of 10 a.m. shows, guys. I mean, we had a 10 a.m. like maybe the Atlantic Steel Piers, the only comparable half-hour shows 4 times a day. But man, that was crazy hours. Now it's just an evening show at 7:30. Monday through Saturday.
Yeah, and it's going to be great. So you guys anywhere near Branson, come on out, and we'll. I think we're going to have a great time. It'll be a hoot.
In between Susan, going through labor, I say that she's going through labor, and to be candid, we all know Susan isn't, and it's her daughter Miranda, but this is grandmother labor, and we all know what that's like to be on call for that. It's a very exciting time, and all of a sudden, a podcast with her two brothers goes, well, let me get back to you. I need to stay over here with Susan. Have your grandchild, and we'll take it from there. But anyway, so all three of us, though, by the way, have been rehearsing this show. And guys, it's not like learning a song; it's learning a show.
Right.
2 or 3 songs we had never heard before because they came from maybe Andy Williams arrangements or this opening from Trans-Siberian Orchestra, or some song we weren't familiar with.
Christmas Dreams, it's called.
Christmas Dreams is from scratch, guys. I mean, we're in the ballpark on Rocking Around the Christmas Tree, or Jingle Bell Hop or Jingle Bell Rock Hop. Oh, I hope I don't confuse rock and hop.
Drummer Boy, Jingle Bells.
Jingle Bells. Have yourself
Yeah.
a little merry little Christmas, which I'm glad to the show. I love that song.
Yeah, yeah. We do two medleys, one at the end of the show and one at the very beginning of the show. And then we
Yeah,
have our own 15-minute set where we'll do Rain the Park, Indian Lake, and Hair, and then do our own Winter Wonderland.
with the band. Other than that, we have a couple of songs with the Letterman, and we're in production numbers, which means we
Yeah.
might be moving from left to right or right to left down the stage while singing. But all right, Cowsills, 10 steps to the left while the Letterman go to the right. Don't bump into each other, but we're ready for anything.
Yeah, because when we were watching, we have seen the Osmonds and the Lennon sisters,
Yeah.
and that's kind of what we're taking off of that. We're hearing the music, we're hearing how they did it, and we're watching them. And so it's one song, but the Lennon sisters and the Osmonds are arm in arm, and they're almost dancing. And I don't see us doing that with the Letterman, being
No,
arm in
no.
arm and going down. That's not going to
I
happen.
believe, and I believe I saw it too, Paul. Remember, guys, we have to work this up remotely apart from each other. We haven't gotten together yet, but I think I know the video, Paul, because I saw the same thing. And I think they even did a little rock cat kicking. The girls did with the rock cat leg up.
A little bit.
I saw a
Just
little going,
toe shove, I call it.
no. But hey,
Yeah,
with the
I
Letterman,
know.
and so with the Letterman, and we love the Letterman. We've been talking to Bobby and going back and forth, and everyone's working on it alone. We'll bring it together at rehearsals. We leave this week for those rehearsals and start divvying up. But I picture a men's glee choir with the Letterman. Like there's no girls really except for Nadia and Susan.
Well, that's too.
That's too, but with girls, that can be enough,
Yes, yeah.
You have because it's going to be 5 guys, 6. Well, anyway, it's going to be a real adventure.
When it says all sing, I was thinking, they must have other singers, like a chorus of singers that sing when it says red and it's all singers. But as I'm moving through this, I'm thinking, well, all singers would probably mean, are there 3 Lettermen?
Yeah.
So there'll be 3 Lettermen, 3 of us, Nadia, and so that's 6, 7. So
anyone else? Maybe
I
the
guess
band sings. Maybe the band sings.
Yeah, I don't know.
But all singers, I picture being in the back, hopefully. And when it says all singers, we look around waiting for everyone to sing, and everyone's looking at us.
yeah.
To sing with them. Okay, that's what they mean. But I think we're going to be around a piano maybe in the beginning.
Yeah. And we're going to rehearse these like Christmas dreams, where it says red, all singing. Well, I don't know how that's going to work out, honestly,
I know.
And so we'll have to figure that out.
It falls upon her snow white hair. Then it falls to the ground, it lingers there. Then it falls to the air of a winter sky till it captures a dream in its crystallized. Let it go. Which brings me to that Disney movie. But anyway, we're going to have to sing Let It Go in that song. I know. That's okay.
Yeah, we will.
It's a hoot. And
so, yeah.
And it's going to be
crazy,
fun.
That's for sure.
Now we're going to be holding microphones. We did find out some things, guys. There are monitors. We're going to hold microphones because we didn't know how they're going to mic all the voices. And so I have practiced, for instance, in a mirror. Because that one song ends Merry Christmas too when we break into like 10 harmonies.
Merry Christmas too. Oh,
there you go.
Yeah.
I practiced the right arm going up Merry Christmas too. And even maybe a little of that mic going up with the bent head go, oh, isn't that what they do? Because I'm without a guitar. And the challenge of the first few nights is no guitar for me. Now, Paul works that way. So he comes in and enters his comfort zone. But I come in, I am entering my discomfort zone. And I'm going like, oh, I wish I had a guitar. But I'm going to do it. And I'm practicing professional moves. And man, if they wanted me to kick, I'll kick. Now, we're going to share this with you guys while we're in Branson. So, and I'm sure some of the audience will put up footage and understand that we told you that we are aware of what we're doing here. This is a variety Christmas show. And Rick, I think, is the host, is a magician, and he's supposed to be pretty darn good. Or as Bobby put it, hey, we've been on the stage with David Copperfield in Las Vegas, and Rick Tara is a lot better than him. So I'm going, well, Rick must
wow, that's really
Rick
quite
pretty good. That was a
boy. Yeah.
testimonial and a half, right? All right. So that's it. We're thrilled with our Cowsills podcast. We're still staying video and audio every Wednesday morning. We didn't check questions, darn it. Well, everyone's kind of busy with the Branson show, as you know, guys. But let you know that Rhythm of the World is out and available everywhere. We are still doing interviews. The first week of November with regards to Rhythm of the World is going to be the cover story early November on Shindig Magazine with a profile inside and a separate review of Rhythm of the World. Also early November, Sirius XM 60s Gold, Cowsills Week. Not a day, not a song. So we did a long interview. They're going to play segments throughout the week and songs from Rhythm of the World. And I'm sure from the old days, and that's cool. That's the joy of us.
Yeah. And December 10th, I do want to let everybody know we're going to be in Watoma, Wisconsin. So anybody who's listening to this, if you're near Watoma, come out. It's December 10th. Come on out to the show. It'll be a Christmas show, and we'll be really Christmased up because we had just been doing Christmas for 6 weeks.
And by the way, the threesome that are sleigh riding into Watoma on December 10th, we're going to have our full band there.
Yes, so
that makes it. We're excited about getting to that show because we got the whole band there. And we're Christmasing up because it's December 10th, and we've been Christmasing in Branson, so we're going to bring it right into Wisconsin, guys.
Yeah. And Bob, you know how we were thinking of that thing to do, about like singing the Christmas carols during our shows, get the audience involved. Yes. Well, we're actually going to go in there now knowing a lot more Christmas songs than we knew before this show because we know the songs.
We'll have it memorized.
Yeah.
Jingle bell, jingle bell.
Right?
Jingle bell swing and jingle bell ring. I never knew that second line, and now I know it so well. Snowing and blowing up bushes of fun.
I keep getting snowing and blowing mixed up with dancing and prancing.
Now, see? That's when you hope it's group singing.
It will be.
Do you know what happens? Even with the Cowsills, you guys, if one of the three loses track or whatever, and the other two don't,
their way,
the third one can log on to the other two, and they'll take you through it, even if you're confused a little lyrically. And usually you get away with that. It's a strange kind of thing you do on stage during a show because you can forget. Rain the Park and other things. What verse did I sing the second verse? I can't remember if I sang that. I'm coming up on the third verse, and I'm during the performance. I think I sang the second verse. What if I didn't?
Crazy.
All right,
it's going to be crazy.
The boys, our guests today, guys. So we just heard Kathy Lennon and the Lennon Sisters, and talking about the Christmas show in Branson. Today's guest is Kip Lennon, Michael and Mark Lennon. These are the band Venice, which is a family band. Two brothers, Mark and Michael, are brothers. Kip is a brother also, but he's Kathy's brother. So Kathy's one of the firstborn Lennon sisters, and somewhere way down, young Kipster's born. And he doesn't look to his sisters, apparently. We're going to ask how they did all this, Paul. I mean, it's like...
Right.
They're surrounded by many through the whole thing.
I know. I want to know from the cousins, was it their cousins that got them, thinking, hey, we can do music? Yeah. I mean, I know the brothers, they must have been thinking, oh, wow, check these chicks out. They're doing their thing. And what are they doing while the girls are doing their thing?
Yeah. Was the influence Lawrence Welk?
Yes.
Or was the influence, well, maybe not that, but we can ask them about that.
Yeah,
for sure. But you kids, look up Venice. Okay, not the city. Put Venice Rock Band. Or you have to go through the Venice, Italy things. 21 albums. Actually, another side, I saw 31 albums. They've done a Christmas album. They tour and perform since 1978. That's our Cocaine Drain years. And they're launching.
Yeah.
Apparently. Very young. And
they were launching.
They're going to be on 7 record labels. Now, is that good or is that bad? Let's see. I got dropped from 7 labels, but I got signed by 7 labels. Okay, well, that's the glass half. All right, they got signed by 7 record labels throughout their career. Now, maybe they're still signed. And they play live like all over the world. Okay? They're big in Germany. They're big in the Netherlands. Their records are played all the time over this. Anyway, we're going on and on, but you got to check these guys out.
Yeah.
And it's the Lennon Connection, not John, but Sisters. It's the Sisters. Okay.
Oh, I was just going to say, I know we usually have gripes and all that kind of stuff, and we don't have to announce the gripe section, but I did want to tell you, I got these glasses. I'm figuring out my glasses now. What I went to was a 3-way glass, but progressive, and it's not bothering me. And it's not bothering me. I'm not getting nauseous or any of that kind of thing, and so it's been great. But my gripe is that, so I lost. And you found my glasses at your house, Bob?
I have them, yes.
Where were they?
On the floor. Easily seen in the open, by the way.
Really? In the bedroom?
Yeah, where the eyes didn't meet.
Right. Well, like I was saying, I just got these glasses today, and that was when I didn't have glasses. So I wasn't seeing anything.
So your brain's handling it, huh?
Yes.
Now, you don't find yourself peering up where to watch TV at all?
It seemed like I was before. It was seeming like I had to sit up a little straighter to see the top level of stuff. But the brain does amazing stuff, and it's all gathering all this information and making it very easy for me to use these glasses. Okay. But what wasn't easy, and this could certainly be a gripe, but what wasn't easy was doing picking the frames out, because they had like 300 frames, the wall-to-wall frames, know what I mean? Hey, there's Kip.
Hey, Bob.
We have Kip, Michael, and Mark.
Our sister can't join us.
Lennon's. Our sister is involved in the greatest production of her life. Her granddaughter Savannah is happening while we're talking, guys. Can you believe this? Yeah, a birth is taking place.
What?
Paul,
you would think that Susan was pregnant, though, you guys. Okay, this is her daughter having a baby, and it seems as though Susan's having the baby.
Yeah, the report we get. Paul, that is so true. The report we get from Susan, who we know is in some kind of waiting room, it could be on the phone. Hey guys, we're doing it here, but that's okay. But we have told everybody about Venice, about your productivity.
Yes,
it's so impressive. Your albums. What do we have? 7? Anyway, 21, 31 albums with these guys. But this is Kip Lennon. Now we want to know how this all happened, and Michael and Mark Lennon from Venice and from the Lennon family, the empire that stands up there with the big families like the King family. We'll want to know from you later how you didn't become the King family. But, this is who's with us today. All 3, by the way. We're going to do our best to talk over each other.
Yeah. We can do that. But guys, thanks for coming out today. Susan isn't with us, but this is Susan's thing that she always starts the podcast, and and it's a good question. Maybe not to you guys, because you've been surrounded by music your whole life. But was there anything else that you ever wanted to do? Because she says she never had the option. Ever wanted to do except for music?
Kip, go ahead first.
Let's see. We were surrounded by music, like you said. So, but we weren't. No one was saying go. If anything, we were being discouraged from show business. We were being like, it's, you don't get to see your family very much, and just have fun, and So it wasn't like we were being encouraged to be in a band, a lifelong band. So I never really thought that was my career. I just thought, you go on Lawrence Welk once a year and you sing Jingle Bells and you have fun. But mostly singing and stuff was just for our families and parties. So for me, I thought I was going to be a cartoonist or maybe an actor. Okay. Originally, I thought I was going to be a priest, but that was just because my brother Joe wanted to be one, and I wanted to go where Joe went.
I wanted to be a priest too. I thought I was going to be a priest, and then I realized I wasn't.
We went to Catholic school, grew up Catholic. Okay, in fact, we were called gap-toothed Catholics. But anyway, every family, including ours, seemed to have a guy that wanted to be a priest. It was like in the neighborhood. And the parents were proud. Oh yeah, Johnny wants to be a priest. Yes, I do. And I think that's because in class, when the priest came to the class, it was like God arrived, and it was like, anyway.
So we had some good priests growing up in our school, and we haven't heard any bad horror stories yet, but
no, we did too.
And they did come into the class. It was so cool. Like, oh, Brother John's here or whatever. And always cool. So we look up to them, and they're really cool guys and good inspirations. A lot of them were really good at sports, and they jump on the playground in their black outfit and throw football. And
that was always weird.
We had Father Welsh.
I said, I'm either going to be a singer or actor or both, and I'm also an artist. I kind of paint on stuff, and we all design our album covers together, and that's kind of fun. Oh. But I never wanted to be a lawyer or a doctor.
Cool.
No, but so there's this. Go ahead.
I would have done sports. I would have tried to play sports, volleyball or football or something. Probably would have got more into that. But I got the music bug, instrument bug, playing guitar too early. Or drums at first, and then I moved to guitar when I was 14.
Yeah.
So I would say something athletic. I could see myself doing.
Yeah, that would have been me as well. I was thinking I was going to be a professional baseball player or football player. And then my dad said, get on that bus. And it was over.
Yeah. With our family, you guys have a large family as well. And so we got lots of other cousins too that have large families. And sports is just as big in our family as music.
Yeah.
Equally. I mean, we have lots of athletes that have become pros, and our dads were really good athletes. Our dads basically started beach volleyball back in the 1940s.
Wow, so cool.
We have a lot of volleyball in our family still, and just tons of sports. So it was kind of like music or sports was kind of which way you go, or both.
Gotcha. But, now you guys are cousins. So was it your dads that were in the Lennon Brothers singing group?
Yes.
Yeah. Oh, okay.
And all their other, there's like 5 of them or something.
Oh,
yeah. So a swing vocal group, 1940s, 1950s. I mean, clearly not as successful or famous as the Lennon Sisters, but they predated the Lennon Sisters. They were like on the radio. They made, we have old albums that people still give us sometimes.
Yeah.
I have a whole box I just got from.
They're 78s, right?
Yeah, 78 vinyls of Lennon Brothers.
Yeah,
awesome. They're so good.
At least 11 different records.
And if it weren't for them and their harmonies, there would never be a Lennon Sisters or Venice or anything. That's because of their harmonies that we all grew up singing at Christmas parties and weddings and things like that. That's where we all learned harmonies was from the original Lennon Brothers.
Now, we were going through the same thing, and we were very young too, just like all of you, but we were just in our living room. But we were watching the Lennon Sisters on Lawrence Welk. We were watching the Osmonds on Andy Williams and a cappella singing. We didn't even know what the word meant, but hey, where's the instruments? And growing up, Mitch, sing along with Mitch and Leslie Uggams getting famous later and all that stuff. We were glued to that stuff. But here's a question. How does the cross-pollination happen where Kip is going to kind of cross over to here and find and discover Michael and Mark, like from what I'm reading, 78, right? 1978. You guys have been doing this since. How does that happen?
77.
Who said?
I was 14.
Out of all of the kids you're surrounded by,
right?
All of the cousins, all of the brothers, sisters, legacy. How do you end up it being you?
Michael had started the band. I don't know if we had called it Venice yet. It was like 5 cents a glass. Come and get it while it lasts. Like a horrible long name like that. It was going to be. It was anyway. So he said, I want to go. I said, you should get cousin Kip. He's a great singer. I wasn't even in the band. I was just like, I go, we all know he's great. And so we were body surfing at Venice Beach. I said, you got to talk to Brother Michael. Come over to his house. We're going to get a jam, and you should be the singer in his new band or whatever.
And what's funny was I was standing next to Marky in the water, and he's saying, Michael wants you to come try out for the band. And I was thinking rock and roll. I guess I could do that. Like I grew up on our side of the boulevard was sort of more Crosby, Stills and Nash, Simon and Garfunkel, Joni Mitchell, and they were more a little bit more rocking and funky and stuff, things that I got a quick education in. As soon as I went over and started hanging out with Michael, all of a sudden it was like, I was nervous to audition for Michael and his high school friends. I was 17. Marky was 14. Michael was 17.
Yeah,
That's incredible.
Our family was more like my brother was just in college, so he was bringing home like Motown stuff, really cool Motown Stevie Wonder, Four Tops, the Temptations
Brothers.
You know, we would sit on the hearth of the fireplace and like sing along with the Four Tops live. You know, like we had a live Motown, and then we also had like Doobie Brothers and I think when I played Kip, you didn't know Long Train Running or something, right? Like
I thought Without Love.
Oh yeah,
you didn't know Without Love?
Long Train Running?
No, we know Without Love. We're shocked with you that he didn't. Hey, but listen, so so you're going to bring together this, and it's going to work. You're going to be a little harder. I mean, our brother Bill was the kind of hard guy in our group, and we were softer. Lennon, McCartney, it works in these bands, and you had it here. Now, while you're forming this, what are the parental units? What's going on when they don't want you to do this, but they see you buying gear? They see the direction. What's going on there?
They loved it. I don't think they ever would discourage us from it. They weren't having so much fun in showbiz. It's fine. They had a great career and
their life,
but they weren't like, go do what we're doing. You know, it's more like, you guys are great, have fun. So they were happy when we formed a band because they're proud of all of us. You know,
I think that's great. Yeah, I was wondering how did you leave it? It couldn't possibly be that the four of you, count Pat, were the only ones who could do this. I mean, now you're putting bands together behind your band. You know, you're becoming bigger units to do the sound you want. But there were no other cousins saying, "Hey, I want in," or you didn't think was this a sister cousin or a sister said, "Hey, you need some female help here." My name's Patty Lennon. I'm between, I mean, none of that, huh? It's just you guys locked because you've been together as long as like the Rolling Stones, you know?
Our brother Kevin does our sound he's done our sound since we began. He worked the mixing board, just taught himself. And he's got a great voice and he never joined the band. It was just crazy. Wow. And then all the rest of our family could sing, like 99.9% of our family has great pitch.
Our cousin Tom, that was between Kip and I, or Kip's age, he tried to audition way back when, and he sang, "See the curtains hanging in the window." And but the way he sang "Window," it just ruined it. It's like, sorry, Tommy, we still talk about it to this day, like "Window." It's like, okay, you're not getting it.
You know how it is with family. You look at each other like,
we do. That sounds so familiar.
But it's a really interesting question that you should ask us that, because no one ever really asked us that. That's the first time we've ever been asked that, right? In all the interviews we've ever done about like, why aren't there other people from your family?
But our older brothers, like my older brother Tom had a rock band who was drafted to Vietnam. They opened for the Doors.
Wow.
Kip's older brother sang in like Five Stills and Nash kind of group. Yeah. Before we did. They were older, Kip's older brothers. Yeah. So there were other bands and iterations of like musical groups, but as far as wanting to join the Venice thing, we've never really been approached because they were kind of like an older generation than us.
Right. So, and our nieces and nephews have bands. They play music too, and they're really good. So, but sometimes we collaborate and do a family reunion show in Santa Monica. That's fun.
I read about that. Hey guys, so the lineup of artists that you guys have either played with or we just did a new album and we put on all the people that influenced us and we just put it on the credits, right? And you guys have kind of done the same thing, only you literally played with these people. How did all that come about?
Wow.
Was it just hearsay?
They're all different connections that we had in the business. Okay. And we worked with one person. We never burned a bridge. We always kept professionalism and a good time when we'd work for people. And I think, we were known for our vocals. So people would say, "Oh, you should get the Venice guys." And then once we sang for Waddy Wattel on like Linda Ronstadt, then that same engineer, I think it was Greg Ladani, brought us to Dolly Parton. And then he brought us to someone else, right? Kip, Nicolette.
Yeah.
So it's just like once you do one, we ended up doing
and who's the guy? Searching for a heart.
Yeah, it's funny because I think if you stick around long enough, that's part of it, is that we didn't quit. We just kept going and we just kept, like Michael said, professionalism. So we just keep showing up, doing our job right and being nice to people. And eventually people start recommending you. And, Dallas Taylor came to see us because of someone, and that's how we met David Crosby, and that's how we met
Jackson.
Guys, this is very humble what I'm hearing. But guys, I'm going to do a little footnote for Paul. Paul's talking about, and you hear these guys, they're so humble. We love them so much. Bruce Springsteen, Don Henley, Elton John, Hart, Phil Collins, Sting, Melissa Etheridge, Cher, Ozzy Osbourne, Jackson Brown, David Crosby, Steve Nicks, Billy Idol, Michael McDonald, Dave Mason, Chris Isaac, Robin Beck, Kenny Loggins, the Doobie Brothers, Styx, Brian Wilson, the Beach Boys, Dolly Parton, Linda Ronstadt, Bon Jovi, Michael Buff, Warren Zevon, and of course, we can't forget the Dutch band Yellow Pearl. So it's like, clearly needing a career boost. They're on the Cowsills podcast because this just isn't enough.
But if you say it like that,
come on, that is a fantastic read. It's just so amazing. And
Yeah.
All right, so take us through. You've been signed to 7 record labels. I mean,
yeah,
Is that good or bad?
yeah.
Just keep trying them till they work. Now we just have our own, right?
I think it was good for us, and there was never any bad blood or any burned bridges or any. It was always agreed upon. Like, okay, we're going to move on. We'll let you out. It was never any bang bang luck. Thankfully.
And we never got that. We're going to front you $1 million, and we never got that kind of a record deal. Everything was just okay, if it's money, it makes money.
Yeah, we pay for the record, and that's it. Our first record had a budget of like I think 210,000, maybe 260 with the music video we made.
Yeah.
Now we make a record for $10,000-$15,000 ourselves.
It sounds great.
Like Kip said, we just keep doing it. We don't think of it as like the end all do all, or like we have to do this. Like, no, let's go.
Right.
like after all these years, even when we get, it can be tiring. Like we just did 19 shows in 25 days in Europe. We just got back. But it was I think we all do. We still wake up and go, I get to do a show tonight. Not I have to do a show tonight. Like it's fun. It's fun to be with your, we don't always agree on everything. We don't always agree on everything, but we love what we make together as a unit. We wouldn't trade it for the world. So, it's like, why do you guys going to keep doing this? And it's like, well, what else would we do?
Right. Guys, I've listened to a lot of the music over the last couple of days, and man, your harmonies, I know you hear this, we hear it as well because of or familia or siblings. And they go, wow, the harmonies, it just does the goosebumps. It does all that. But what makes it really happen, and people don't know this because they're not familiar or siblings, is the phrasing, is how you guys, man, and we do it as well. We love doing this. And you guys, man, I mean, when you're clipping a word, when you're done with a line, you're all done with that line. It's incredible. It's incredible. And it's fun to be able to hear what people always say to me when I don't really know what they're saying. And then I hear you guys, and I go, oh, this must be what people are saying to me, and they can't quite put their finger. But you guys, I love your music. I listened to a ton of it already, and it's just great. Beautiful. And I hear all that whole list of who we hear them in you. I hear them in you. God, the other night I was listening, I'm going, this is the freaking Eagles right here. I felt it all the way. It was great. It was really, really, you guys are really great.
Question.
Thank you.
It's funny. Go ahead. Well, I was just going to say, one of the things about doing vocals together, we've been singing together for so long now. Like Pat joined in 1980, and then he's the new guy. Yeah. And so because of that, there are times when we have to stop, take a moment and say, okay, don't sing that so exactly with me, because it starts to sound either like one person did it and it starts to sound homogenized. We don't want it to sound like that.
Yeah.
Right.
So I'm not saying like, oh, it's but family, with that family thing, that's the downside, is that we are so together that sometimes it doesn't sound live enough or real enough. So we have to sort of be careful of that too.
Yeah.
I'm sure you guys.
Or when you all sing together, you sound like your moms.
No,
we do it. Well, me and Bob will sing, and we'll go, God, it sounds like my mom. It's like,
We'll shift positions within the vocal stack. A question about your recording process, which I'm sure is very familiar to you guys, and you probably just go in and you do it because you've always done it. Does somebody sort of take the lead in the studio? Is there, or everyone equal? Or if you wrote it, you get to say what you want on it? Or Who's pointing to who? Michael?
He's pointing down. We're up to the corner left.
Oh,
here.
not on my screen. It's different on my
Mike
screen.
produces our albums, but we all have our input, and we all, if we truly don't want to do something he wants us to try, or vice versa, then we'll talk it out and we'll vote.
Yeah, it's very
communal. You got to have someone to produce it, and he engineers it. So.
Oh my gosh, both.
Yeah.
Yeah, and a lot of times it's more about just coordinating the schedule because everyone has their input, and we all kind of on autopilot when we're together. As far as producing, then we're all like just giving ideas, and we're But I'm just more organizing the event and the session, and and of course I'm engineering.
Yeah, he's engineering. So that's huge.
No, it is.
But I'm not like people what to do necessarily. I might suggest other things, but we all do that.
Yeah.
So it's more about coordinating the sessions and the schedule.
Yeah. But we're all really open to each other's suggestions because we want it to be right. We have this theory that over the years when we would tour and we go to radio stations and people would say, those bands, how they fight with each other and they don't and all that. When you're raising a family, we're kind of used to making group decisions on vacation and nothing to do with show business, And if one person really doesn't want to go, then everybody goes, okay, well, Pat doesn't want to go, so let's go. That you're kind of used to compromising. So it kind of grooms you for group decisions. And so we kind of got a head start with that before we ever were a band, that we're used to compromising a little bit, like we still have opinions, but we're open to each other. And we go like, oh, okay, I can see Marky really doesn't like that.
So obviously then you guys have been recording long enough. You went from analog and now, Michael, you're doing it digitally.
Yeah.
So Mark and Kip, isn't it weird now that you have to go through him? You have to ask him everything, to do everything, to stop. Can we do this again? Before, when we would mix, everybody get on the faders. Now it all goes through Michael, and now we all have to speak to Michael every time we want something. I hated it. Not you. I'm just saying, I hated just the back of our engineer, and when you wanted to say something, you had to interrupt him. It felt like,
Yeah.
Did you guys experience that?
Luckily, the boards have memory now, and you just mix it once, press save. And,
But with Pro Tools and all, that's how songs look, So I have a question.
Yeah.
We're real curious about your presence in the rest of the world and how you got that. It's like at some point in your career, at one of these decades, you start becoming very popular, like in Germany and the Netherlands, and you still to this day. You just said you just got back. Did you foresee that? Did that just happen to you?
Remember, you just said earlier about all those record deals, and was that a downside or an upside? Well, one of those record deals was after we had our big one in Atlantic with Atlantic, Modern Atlantic. In 1990, we kind of went into you guys know this. All of a sudden you go to sort of like, okay, what are we going to do now? We're not going to quit. What are we going to do? So we kind of pulled back, and our drummer, Scotty, went with the Eagles. He's been with the Eagles ever since, 25, 30 years almost. Oh, wow. And so we were kind of like, let's just be the four of us and we'll get back to our roots. So we did this thing called the Garage Demos, which was basically just putting all our demos onto a CD and selling them at our gigs. Lawrence Welk's grandson, Kevin Welk, was in charge of Vanguard Records, the newly redone Vanguard Records, which was an old label from the 60s. Oh. And he reached out to us and said, would you guys want to be on my Americana type label? Do you want to do this? And it was like, we used to babysit him. That's how long.
Is that Buns? Paul, I think that might be Buns.
No, Buns' is brother.
Buns is his brother. Okay.
Yeah. Brother Kiki.
Kiki. There you go.
Yeah. And so it felt like family to us. Yeah. So they kind of just said, do it. So Michael, instead of taking a budget and going to a big studio, Michael got all the right equipment, bought all the right equipment for us to go away to a house that those cousins owned down in Vista, California. And we did the whole thing up at a house, and we just got back to the basics. And because of that album, somebody picked it up on import in Germany, some dance label where some guy loved what they call West Coast music. And he started playing it, and some Dutch DJ heard it, started playing it, and he's a TV show host, and he invited us over. They said, you've sold 3,000 records in the Netherlands. It was like, okay.
Yeah.
And we did this TV show. And it was like MTV Unplugged kind of thing. And we went and did that show, and everything, power of television.
Snowballed. Wow. Yeah, it was 24 years ago.
Wow. It does show us all that, no matter how good any of us are, because there's a lot of people out there in the world that are just as good as any of us, how much luck and timing and, this weird stuff that's in the universe, she's running the show and she always makes sure we know it.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah. So guys, we got to ask you now, in our early days, geez, even still, we think we're a cover band. Okay. Now we need to hear all about the Pine Mountain Logs, because you got this. Now I hear some of your stuff and I'm listening. I go, man, I think that guy could do McCartney. You can hear a little of it in there. and I'm going, I think these guys can change their voices a little. I think they have that ability. And so what's going on with this cover band?
That's how we started first. Venice was a cover band. We played wedding receptions, high school dances.
Nice.
Wow.
Parties, sorority stuff.
We did covers and like one original maybe.
Yeah.
We slowed.
And then we phased out the covers. We'd always do a few at the end of our shows just to please the new people. And then we went to go see this band on Venice Boardwalk and playing at this little place called the Venice Bistro. And I told Michael, and we were there with our drummer Scott, who's with the Eagles now. And we watched this cover band. We're like, we could do this. And we all kind of go, we don't even have to practice. We know all these songs. So Kip, we put the band, there's a line around the block every Sunday. And the Pine Mountain Logs said, what are we going to call ourselves? And the drummer looks down and there's some Pine Mountain Logs. And Kip's fire.
Great.
You're Michael.
Yeah, it's no reflection of the music at all to be called the Pine Mountain Logs. It's not country at all.
It's not country.
It was literally just a box that was
We burn in multicolors for 6 hours.
Now, when you were doing these cover tunes, and I'm assuming whoa, listen to the music. But when you're doing these cover tunes, are you doing them like the recordings, like the way people want to hear them? Or are you doing?
Nice.
We do them in the same key, same pitch. We kind of try and imitate them.
We're doing the solos. We're doing the solos. Full respect, man.
Listen, acknowledging that you do not answer to us, we're very proud to hear you say that.
I think it was at that same time. Our first album didn't succeed. We didn't know what we were going to do yet. Scott wasn't with the Eagles yet. And it was like, let's do this for fun. And all of a sudden it plugged us into why we liked music again. And what we love about hit songs and what we love. And we are music fans first, more than anything, just like you guys, So Michael wants to do the exact solo from Kid Charlemagne.
Yes.
Or, we want to do all that stuff because that's the fun of it. We don't want to be a wedding band, making it our own. Nobody can do that.
No. And by the way, now, just in case we don't want anyone coming after us, some of the best bands I saw were wedding bands. Okay.
Yeah, of course. What I mean is,
we
all know the occasional
Yeah.
person that you see that's swinging something that doesn't need to swing, and you go what do you do?
Our cover band, our family cover band, because that's how we started, did Beatles. And I mean, the Beatle rule. I mean, if there was two harmonies, you better not put a third one in, and don't even think it, okay? Because there's a reason they didn't do that. And so, and I think bands like Venice and us, Paul, I think we were the early. Why that business model of being a cover band was going to succeed today. Look what happens today. Yeah. They just took it to a more finite level of we'll be just the Doors or we'll be just Fleetwood Mac. We were the cover band of the era, the decade, whatever.
Same.
Pretty much rock, classic funk, classic disco. We don't do any of the new songs. The current songs. We don't do current songs. Just all that good stuff.
In the med, we might throw a current thing in with an old song just to show, see, they kind of stole from that.
Yeah. Cool.
Well, here's
a lot of mashup medley kind of stuff where we'll go from Brick House into Burning Down the House.
Yeah. Brick House.
They all happened over
until the party's over.
Listen, hey, Paul, you even say the word Brick House. Every musician in the world starts thinking of their old cover band. It
was a brick house. Yeah.
I'll send you guys the Pine Mountain Log sizzle reel.
Yeah,
it's just a video highlight reel. It's only 15. What is it? 2 minutes long or something?
Yeah.
Anyway, pretty fun. If you haven't seen it,
it's on YouTube.
It'll give you a quick highlight of some of the repertoire.
The truth is, like most things that are successful, we're just trying to entertain each other. We're just having fun. So if somebody suggests a song and all of a sudden Marky goes, oh yeah, I can kind of sound like that guy. We're a bunch of kids that grew up making our siblings laugh. and imitating people on TV and imitating. So doing imitations, it wasn't like I'm a mimic. It was like, I think I can do Michael Jackson. I think I can do Sting. And then you do, and it cracks everybody up. But, we add these things really slowly. All of a sudden it's like, oh, wait a minute, Mark, somebody said we should do I'll stop the world and melt with you. So all of a sudden, as we're rehearsing, I think, oh, these are kind of the same chords that Born to Run. And so all of a sudden we segue from I'll stop the world and melt with you to Born to Run. Down, 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 down. And all of a sudden I was like, I can do Springsteen. It's that kind of thing where we're just having fun and the audience picks up on that feeling. And that's what they care about. They don't care that we're technically perfect or that we know the lyrics. They just want to have fun. They want permission to have fun. And that's what we do because we're just enjoying it ourselves.
Isn't it funny though? There goes my light again. But it's funny that what were you going to say, Bob?
No, go.
Oh, I forgot.
I love that. So, okay.
By the way, I just want to say we met your brother John ages ago when we opened for the Beach Boys in Germany.
Oh,
what, 15, 20 years ago? Probably 20 years ago.
20 years ago.
And we became fast friends because, like you said, there's the Lennons and the King family and the Osmonds and you guys. And there's not that many of us that are like 60s.
I know.
Musical family. So we all became BFFs on that tour.
Yeah.
And I haven't seen him in ages, but
I met Susan at a backyard house concert probably 10 years ago or whenever she was doing.
Wow.
And so I talked to her, I'm from the Lennon family. She's like, oh, we love the Lennon, And I was like, oh, we should do something together because she said she was going to get together with you guys eventually, try to do some stuff. And I've seen some of the recent videos, and it's just you guys still sound great. You got the 3-part harmony. Look like you're having fun. I'd love to do something together in some venue.
Let's go to Germany together, you guys. Come on.
Take us to the Netherlands. Check it out.
Start in Santa Monica, and then we'll work from there.
Okay.
I want to share a story. I want to share one story, even though they're the guest. So because of what happened to them, Paul. So in England right now, there's this chart called the Heritage Chart, and people vote in, okay? But they started playing two songs, Heritage. They started playing two songs from our new album, Rhythm of the World, and they're on the top 40 songs. I know. Now, it's from them. These DJs just decided to play these two songs from it. They like them. And the kids are calling in saying, yeah, we like that. We like that. But it reminded me of how you guys, your story about the German, you just don't know. So anyway, I just
don't know.
That's something we have in common other than West Coast Sound. I love that they have Venice. I know your name helped also. The group Venice with the West Coast Sound. And you guys, I saw your videos and stuff. You guys are very good. You're very, very good. And you're altos. I mean, you still can do the high harmony. I don't think anyone's lost their falsetto yet, right? No.
No, we really make sure we take care of ourselves vocally. Like we always rest. We always warm up. We drink a lot of water. We don't party after gigs. If we have a gig the next night and that kind of stuff.
We don't party on stage. We don't,
Yeah, never alcohol on stage.
No, that we're the same way. So it's funny because you mentioned, you're doing the cover tunes and then you go, and then we do one original. We have that same phobia. We got this new album out, but people are expecting the Hollies out of us and they're expecting these cover tunes and try to slip these tunes in, carefully because you don't want everybody to zone out, they're going to the bathroom or something.
Yeah.
And so did you guys have that same kind of weird trip in your heads about how are we going to make that segue?
Interesting.
Well, it's tough already because we have over 250 songs. So to write a 24-song set list, and then we have this new album coming out. We're like, well, we got to do those ones and that one and that one.
Right.
It's tough. So we just test them out.
But he means when we actually transition from just doing covers to start sneaking in originals.
Yeah.
It didn't really happen slowly. It just became the original band, right, Kip? It wasn't for half and half or anything.
We start, like we said, we were at Kazari's and that kind of the whiskey, and we were playing, 4 sets a night. We were doing Zeppelin and Frampton and everything from it was 77, 78, 79. So new wave was starting to come in. And we would just throw in, like Marky said, we would throw in a couple of originals. And, people liked it, but they're like you said, they're waiting to hear Stones or whatever.
Right.
But in a way, we wouldn't trade those those days for anything, because you learn so much by failing, by staying up till 4:00 in the morning, winding up chords covered in beer while drunk guys are talking to you about you guys jam, like all that. That's all part of like your 10,000 hours. So by the time we're writing now, we feel like our stuff, luckily we have a following that wants our original stuff. So to answer your question, I
was going to say, but Venice, Paul, Venice's audience was willing to go on this journey with you guys. So you said, yeah, we did covers, and then pretty soon we're doing originals, and the covers are at the end of the show. Well, that audience had to go on that journey with you guys. I mean, a lot of our audience, we step into almost a time warp, and they're sitting there already going, we know, what we want, and it better sound good. Now let's get going. A lot of audiences are like that now. And we don't want to hear your new stuff. Everybody's got new stuff. Yeah. Don't you dare try and invent your old stuff. And there's all these rules,
Well, baby boomers are getting crankier.
They are.
They are. They're like, they're used to sitting with their remote, and they want what they now. And it's the same when they're with live audiences.
How many baby boomers does it take to change a light bulb? 0. We don't like change.
That's great.
All right, we got to now listen. Let's catch up. Now, you guys clearly, and we're this way too. So we feel so much in common. Are a great live band. You love to play live. You've never stopped playing live. You to this day play live, whether it's in these big places with big people or down in Venice, or at the Mint. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Well, but I want to, I'm sorry to digress, but I need to know. So did you guys just a couple of days ago, when you just got back from England or Europe, did you do the competition opening act?
Yes.
Oh, no, yeah, it was a thing that your fans and friends, vote for you to do.
Oh, okay.
The Hollywood Bowl, that thing?
The Hollywood Bowl thing? Yeah.
Opening act, yeah.
Oh, I thought if you won that, you got to go on tour you got to be an opening act for all the people that you've already been an opening act for.
It would have been a great thing, but it turned out that we got past a bunch of levels, and we love, thankfully, from the support of all of our friends and stuff. We kept voting. And we were like, this is cool. We're getting, this is nice. Our legacy means something.
Yeah.
And then near the end, and all of a sudden it starts, the verbiage starts to get a little different on the website. And it's more about now, if you pay, you can vote 10 times a day. And if you pay, and it turns out it was something where some DJ won. A girl DJ that spins records. Because she was viral on something, and she had a bunch of 20,000 fans that were voting for her.
Oh, she was an influencer. Yeah. Crazy.
So when are you at the Mint?
Our Christmas show.
The 9th.
December
9th. Our Christmas show. The Mint.
Well, we'll be closing Branson. You guys, I know the Mint. If you want to see this band up close and personal, like arena rock, but not even arena, I mean, they're right there. It'll be great. And the mix will be tight and fill the room. You'll be right in the speaker too. So it's all good at the Mint. It truly is that way.
And the vocals will be incredible. And, these people who are listening to us are vocal people, and you got to listen to the vocals of the Venice band, man.
San Diego fans and Santa Barbara fans, we're doing a Christmas show there and there as well. The Belly Up, Soho in Santa Barbara. So
and the Christmas shows. Yeah. And the Christmas shows are a lot of fun too, because we incorporate Christmas songs into our Venice songs.
We mash them with
our Venice songs. And then we do a lot of sort of novelty Christmas songs too. It's really something a lot of people look forward to. And also the Pine Mountain Logs are doing a show the night after Thanksgiving in Venice, at Venice West. If you guys are still in town on Friday after Thanksgiving, we'd love to have you come down and see the Logs.
We're in Branson from November 1st to December 10th in a Christmas show, 6 nights a week. But
and you already interviewed Kip's sister, Kathy, right?
Yeah, we just talked to Kathy last week. It was great.
Yeah, God.
Oh my God, we don't know.
Man, I got to something, Kip. We loved your sisters. I mean, we were little kids when they were little kids, man. And Kathy and Janet were my absolute knockout favorites.
Huge inspirations.
Michael McDonald told us he had a crush on Janet and he wanted to meet her.
Yeah. Susan, my sister hang on. My sister Susan calls those people $5 guys. If she had $5 for everybody that would come to our meet and greet, go, I loved you. You know, I loved you when we were little. Like she was 8 and 9 and they're loving her, right? It was like,
yeah. It's really crazy.
Just because of the nature of the Lennon sisters and with this other than there were two things when you're a teenage guy when I was young. It was, is it Ginger or Marianne? And is it Janet, Dee Dee, Kathy, or Peggy? Because everyone had one and no one ever had two. I'm telling you, this is the truth, you guys. That is so true.
Marianne. Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Of course.
5 years ago, Don Wells, it became Marianne.
It's funny because we were we were totally aware of you guys and really kind of jealous in a way because our sisters were Lawrence Welk's show and Americana, you know, pop culture.
Right.
But you guys were actually having like hit songs on the radio and like you guys were cool. And we would see you on like, I don't know, Lloyd Thaxton or, you know, whatever the shows were, you know, Shindig and all those shows, right? Isn't that the era that you guys were on?
Television was good.
Yeah. And so we would see you guys and we were like, that's cool. The family gets to be a rock band. And, you know, we always thought it was really cool.
Yeah, but you got to understand the Lennon Sisters, 7 presidents, the Cowsills, none. The Lennon Sisters, 21 albums, the Cowsills, 7.
Oh, we adore their legacy.
I'm having fun with
it. You know, it's funny what you said at the very beginning about all the albums we've had out and stuff. There's something really humbling and cool, not cool, but we wouldn't choose it, but we've never had a hit song ever. We've had some popular songs in Europe, never had a hit song in America. And yet a lot of people who have had hit songs have already quit decades ago. And we just kept going and doing what we loved. And there's this other kind of art form that's come out of it, which is just keep putting out albums. And it doesn't have to be whether you're on MTV or whether you're in the top 40. It's just people like what we do. A certain amount of people like what we do.
Yeah.
And we get to sing with people that we idolize and we get to make music and keep making music.
Yeah.
But we still want a Grammy.
Yeah.
I want a Grammy.
Yeah, we want a Grammy.
We're not going to turn it down. We're not going to turn it down. But
we've all made our speeches pretending we did win a Grammy.
and even with the release we just put out, we did call the record company, Brad at Omnivar, and say, now you put it in for Grammy consideration, right? Because your head can't not, it's a just in case thing. It's a just in case thing. You don't want to misstep. Because the universe can have some big things planned for you and you don't know.
Yeah, right. I always think of like the Gypsy Kings, you know, getting their smash debut album at 75 years old, you know, you never know. You just never know.
It's funny. Pat's birthday is November 9th, 1951. My birthday is November 11th, 1951.
Hey.
Wow.
Yeah.
All right, listen.
I thought that was okay.
Here's the 3-act show I want to be a part of. The Cowsills, Venice, and the Bacon Brothers. This is my dream little threesome, okay? Those 3 bands, we could rock a room, okay? I swear. If you haven't checked out Kevin Bacon and his brother Michael, oh my God. So there's a lot of sibling stuff going on that's real good out there.
Let's set it up. Let's work on it together.
Do a whole festival, just family groups.
Just us.
Yes. We'll have the sibling night in LA. All right, you guys. Thank you so much. Look for Venice. Go out and find them, guys. They're playing rock and roll live all the time. They're out there, live shows. Love that they're back.
And their vocals are incredible. Incredible.
Yeah.
Thanks, you guys.
All right, kids.
All right, guys. Thank you so much. Good visit. Thank you so much. Bye-bye.
Yeah. Good luck to Susan and her daughter with the birth and everything.
Oh, yeah. Bye, Susan. We didn't talk much about
I'll make sure you said that.
That's the most
important. And Mark, you met her 10 years ago. I'll make sure she remembers you as well.
Yeah.
All right, guys.
Listen, our number one most popular song is called The Family Tree. And it's you guys would appreciate especially because it's just all about tribute to those that have passed and a song of hope for the new ones. So if you can play it for your sister, she would love it, I think.
Yeah. And you had that 14-year-old boy sing it with you on stage.
Yeah.